Our test driver Matas Kurat is taking a special vehicle out for a spin. He tells us that when you're on rugged terrain, a construction site, or in a quarry, as he is here, then an all-wheel drive vehicle like the Mercedes GL is just the thing. But if you want to take home some gravel, well, think of the mess it would make in the GL. And what about a digger, he says, saying that's why he's got Matthias Lichter along for the ride in this wonderful quarry in Wuppertal, where they're taking a look at the new Mercedes-Benz Arocs.
Wunderschönen Steinbruch in Wuppertal mit Matthias Lichter verabredet. Hallo.
Hallo, grüß dich.
Und wir sehen uns mal den neuen Mercedes-Benz Arocs zusammen an.
Okay.
Lichter says they'll take a little drive first. Getting into the 8.5-meter long and 3.8-meter high truck is a challenge for anyone with a fear of heights. These giants can be configured for 2, 4, 6, or 8-wheel drive. Matas is looking at the biggest Arocs. It weighs in at 41 tons. Matas says that when you're in the cab, it's not much different from a conventional truck. So what sets Arocs apart from the other Mercedes truck Actros?
Wo sind denn die signifikanten Unterschiede jetzt zwischen dem Actros und dem Arocs?
Matthias Lichter tells us that the Arocs has a more robust interior than a street truck. It can be wiped down and doesn't scratch easily. The Arocs also has more of a differential lock than a street truck would, and they're all on the shifter because there's only one sequence for operating the locks, and they're listed on a rotating switch so that inexperienced drivers will get it right. But there's far more than all-wheel drive, differential locks, and robust materials to set the all-terrain truck apart from its streetwise savvier sibling, the Actros. Matthias Lichter explains that street vehicles are normally equipped with air shocks, particularly if they're tractor-trailers. The cab usually has steel suspension in front and air suspension in back. On construction sites, he says, steel suspension is more common, especially if the terrain is really rough. Matthias tells us a truck body is torsionally flexible with a relatively narrow chassis, which helps with the flexibility and, of course, a more robust frame with thicker metal components. The Arocs looks like a solid wall, and it's extremely robust, as its rugged steel lines and caged-in headlights underscore. And there's plenty of clearance, making it ideal for off-road. There are no aluminum rims here. The space for the springs is as large as the entire wheel well on some cars. Different models are available to suit different uses. There's a dump attachment, a cement mixer, and even a model to pull a trailer. "16 different types of engine are available, ranging from 7.7 to 15.6 liters, with maximum torque ranging from an amazing 1,000 to 3,000 Newton meters. And all of them meet Euro 6 emission standards, even when they're putting out up to 460 kilowatts of power. Our test vehicle has a 380 kilowatt engine in it. That's plenty of power for most jobs. After all, construction vehicles don't actually race. The gray giant can climb too. 40% slopes are no problem for the Arocs. And if the stones come loose, the Arocs just rolls downhill. Usually, Matas works for us on the road. He says he's learned something on this off-road assignment. First, he says all trucks are not the same. Second, a tough vehicle can handle tough terrain. And third, if you want to build a house away from civilization, ask your contractor if they have an Arocs in their fleet to get supplies to the job site. As Matthias Lichter is doing here.
Zum Beispiel.